Major funding for Florida Matters comes from the Mosaic Company, a leading producer of fertilizer made from phosphate, a natural resource found in Florida. America's farmers depend on Florida phosphate for their crop nutrition needs. Mosaic, helping America grow.
Everyone is supposed to do it, and most of us are experts at avoiding it. Today, we're talking about physical activity, formerly known only as exercise. Does it really have to be the demon that so many of us make it out to be? Why is it so important? How much is necessary? And what activities count? The answers to those questions may surprise you, but we hope they propel you off the couch and on your feet. Welcome to Florida Matters. I'm Irene Mayer. There's a new effort in this country to get America moving. We're overweight and underactive, which may explain why heart disease is still the #1 killer in the United States. But just a nominal amount of daily physical activity could change that and may even have an impact on diseases like Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, even cancer. The potential benefits of physical activity will amaze you. They may even save you.
It may look like Jonathan Garvin is just shooting some baskets, but he's really working on his blood pressure. High blood pressure, hypertension, is a silent killer that affects more than 40% of African Americans. At just 26, Jonathan is one of them.
It's a big concern because I check it at work often, and sometimes it's up there.
Dr. Eric Corris, director of the Division of Primary Sports Medicine at the University of South Florida College of Medicine, says it's not uncommon to see high blood pressure in his younger patients. He tells them all the same thing.
You inherited, probably genetically, a tendency towards elevated blood pressure from mom or dad. Now we've got to deal with it, and one of the safest, healthiest, least amount of side effects medicines that we have is exercise.
Trouble is, this is what most of us consider exercise, and it's the reason most of us avoid it. But any type of physical activity that elevates the heart rate for at least 30 minutes most days of the week can have big benefits. Dr. Corris says a passion for sports has turned out to be a powerful prescription for Jonathan.
And the exercise, 3 days of basketball a week and 2-3 days of resistance training a week is probably what's kept your blood pressure in check and has kept you as healthy.
But the benefits of physical activity don't stop at lowering blood pressure. Dr. Corris lists 47 conditions that exercise can prevent or improve, from stress, depression, and sleep problems to diabetes, osteoporosis, and cancer. It can even help your memory.
Increased blood flow to the brain seems to have significantly beneficial effects in dementia, in some movement disorders like Parkinson's disease, maybe even in the prevention and or treatment of things like Alzheimer's.
The American College of Sports Medicine wants physicians to start thinking of and prescribing exercise as medicine.
I would say exercise is the best medicine. If you look at things that are going to really decrease your risk of heart disease, stroke, cancer, make you feel better, make you live longer, but not only make you live longer, make you live better and stronger. These are things that can benefit you far into our golden years.
As long as you're willing to take your medicine just about every day. For Jonathan, it's a prescription he looks forward to filling 2 to 3 times a week on a basketball court.
It's amazing how a little bit of exercise each week can make such a difference in your health. Dr. Corris is here with us in the studio now to talk more about an extensive list of conditions that can be helped with exercise. Thank you for joining us today once again. I think the ones that surprised me the most are Parkinson's disease and Alzheimer's. How is it that exercise could have an influence on that?
Right. Those are some of the ones that have actually been most intriguing recently, and largely it's a blood flow issue. If you can, through increasing your heart rate, increasing your cardiac output with moderate exercise, the long-term benefit of increasing that blood flow to the brain seems to have a really beneficial effect in nourishing the tissues, preventing more of the degeneration, and preserving or maintaining the function of the brain.
So that translates into helping your memory,
Exactly.
which is what everybody wants to do.
Right.
How about if you start this exercise even in middle age? Do you still get benefits from it?
Absolutely. I mean, that's probably one of the ages where we hope to get people most engaged. You know, most of us do pretty well through teen years and that kind of thing, but as you get more successful in your career, as you get more busy with your family and things like that, it often takes a significant back seat. But if you can get active in those middle years, that's where you can gain a lot of benefit from very moderate levels of activity.
About 30 minutes a day is what we've been saying.
Exactly.
But most days of the week,
Yes,
as you tell us.
exactly.
Talk to us a little bit about diabetes, how that can be influenced by exercise, because so many Americans have diabetes now.
Right. No, diabetes is a huge area, particularly now that they've even lowered the levels at which diabetes is diagnosed or pre-diabetes is diagnosed. So the population of America that's now affected by high blood sugar or pre-diabetes is enormous. And by increasing your activity, even those modest levels we've talked about, 30 minutes, 3 to 5 days a week, so often you can either prevent diabetes from coming on or dramatically lower that hemoglobin A1C value. This is a blood test that measures your average blood sugar over time and really reduce your risk of all of the complications of diabetes.
So to encourage people further to get up and get active, the American Heart Association is involved in the National Start Walking Day, which is coming up on April the 8th.
Right.
It's next Wednesday.
Right.
And the idea is to just get people, even in the workplace, to get up and walk for about 30 minutes. What do you think of those programs?
I think they're fantastic because it doesn't take that long to establish a good healthy habit, and once people get over the idea that you have to throw on spandex and join a spin class, now exercise becomes much less daunting.
And it's an easy thing to do if you cut it up into 10-minute chunks if you must.
Right.
That's something you said is completely acceptable.
Absolutely, and that's actually one of the changes that the American College of Sports Medicine has added to their newer recommendations as well, that you can split it up. And I think that makes it much more doable for some very busy individuals.
Really does. Well, thank you very much, Dr. Eric Corris, for joining us today from USF, sports medicine and family medicine specialist. If you're the type who sweats when you just think of having to go to the gym, let alone getting on the treadmill, then this next story from Carson Cooper just might open your eyes to the different possibilities of exercising your body. Take a look.
We all know that going to the gym is a great way to get your exercise. All the equipment is right there, concentrated in one place, and there are even personal trainers to spur you on.
But if you're looking for alternative forms of exercise or to step up your routine, there are many other ways to get and stay in shape.
And one of them is dancing, as we discovered on Swing Night at the Don Vicente Inn in Ybor City. We met Patrick Reitner, who loves to trip the light fantastic.
Dancing is, it's just made such a dramatic difference in my life. It's a great talent to get out there and dance and be able to dance. And the more you learn dancing, the more confident you get, the more fun you have. Prior to swing dancing, I weighed 240 pounds. Since I started after 6 months, I lost the weight and did 60 pounds of it. And since then, just the confidence has shot up. People treat you completely differently when you're up there and healthy.
Scott Barnett also likes to burn calories while burning up the dance floor.
You just come and the dance steps give you the exercise you need, and you're doing it in an environment where there's a lot of nice people also dancing and having fun. I've danced before when I was much younger, but not as an exercise routine. I'm 61 now. I'm talking about I used to dance when I was in my 20s. And now I've found that this is still a wonderful way to get exercise and have the same kind of social fun I did back then. We see kids here, we see people in their 80s, we see people of all kinds of ages, from all kinds of backgrounds, that just love to dance. And they come out here and you can see all sorts of people dancing at all sorts of levels of dancing. And it's just terrific.
Anybody can do this. Anybody can go out there and learn how to dance. And the more you dance, the more you get out there and learn, the more weight you lose and the more fun you have. It's a great, great hobby.
There are a lot of hobbies that can double up as exercise. If you like canoeing, it can be very beneficial for the upper body and a scenic way to take in the beauty of natural Florida.
Keeping fit can also be productive. Certain chores around the house can also serve more than one purpose. Think about it this way. Whenever you wash and wax the car, you're buffing up. And when you mow the grass, you're trimming down your waistline. Just keep in mind that not all types of lawnmowers qualify. And working out can be child's play. That is, you can expend a lot of calories just trying to keep up with your kids. Staying in shape can be very serene and peaceful as well, as I learned from yoga instructor Gwen Hanner.
It's done in a peaceful and serene environment, like a yoga studio. There's peaceful music. It's not at a high-powered gym, although you can have some yoga there, but yoga is an alternative form in that it uses a lot of breathing in different poses that you would not see in an aerobics class or a step class. These are called asanas, and they're thousands of years old, and they're designed to do great things.
A lot of people may want to know, can I lose weight doing yoga?
There are many types of yoga regarding that, and all of them will help you to burn calories, help you to increase relaxation, reducing the stress hormones, which also helps you to lose weight.
Gwen was kind enough to show me some beginner positions. I did the table pose, the cat pose,
to what we call cat pose. Okay, and arch your head up and inhale.
and the cow pose.
And how does it feel?
Well, Gwen, it feels wonderful.
Good.
Thank you so much.
Well, you're welcome. My pleasure.
Another tip, don't always take the easy way out. For instance, why drive when you can walk? And the next time you park your car, leave the close spots for someone else. You, however, can get a little exercise by parking farther from the entrance. There are a lot of alternative forms of exercise, and half the fun is thinking them up, which I believe I'll do as soon as I can find a bench. So until next time, for Florida Matters, I'm Carson Cooper.
When it comes to better health, it's not just what you do, it's also what you eat. If you hope to lose a little weight by increasing your physical activity, you'll probably have to make a few changes in the way you eat. Come with me to my kitchen for some helpful calorie-cutting tips that are easy to swallow. One of the things I've learned about weight loss over the years is you don't have to deprive yourself of the foods you love. You just have to eat less of them. Here are a few ways to do that. Sit down at the table and eat, away from distractions like the television and the computer. Your brain will get the message that you're full sooner. Don't put serving plates or bowls on the table. Serve food directly on plates, and you'll be less likely to get up and go to the kitchen for seconds. Use smaller plates. The average dinner plate is 12 inches across. Switch to an 8-inch or 9-inch plate. That's about the size of a standard paper plate. You'll eat less. Make sure half your plate is brightly colored vegetables and fruits. The other half is divided. 1/4 should be lean protein, chicken, fish, or meat, and the other 1/4 whole grains, such as brown rice, beans, or whole wheat bread. Watch your serving sizes. 1 3-ounce serving of meat, chicken, or fish should be the size of a deck of cards. A 5-ounce portion, the size of a checkbook. Divide snacks into low-impact half-cup or quarter-cup portions. Never eat those from the bag directly. Before you know it, you've had 2 handfuls, about 500 calories. And about those snacks, always choose the lowest calorie snack that's highest in fiber and calcium. Some of my favorites include microwave oatmeal made with calcium-fortified fat-free milk, homemade bran muffins that I bake and freeze the same day, my very own snack mix made with nuts, craisins, heart-healthy semi-sweet chocolate chips, and tiny pretzels. Low-fat frozen yogurt is good, just 100 calories and 100 milligrams of calcium. Even potato chips don't have to be off limits if you get the ones with half the calories of regular and limit the portion size. To cut calories at dinner, try one of my favorite recipes, creamy chicken potatoes. It has just 375 calories a serving. Here's how to make the creamy chicken potatoes. Start by putting 2 potatoes in the microwave for about 5 to 7 minutes, depending on your oven. Now, spray the skillet with cooking spray and add the chicken. This has to cook until it's done. No pink. Now remove the chicken from the skillet. And set it aside. Put about a teaspoon of olive oil in the pan and add the vegetables. And saute these for about a minute. Now add the 2½ teaspoons of flour to the skillet. Mix everything up. Saute it for about a minute. Slowly add the broth and the milk to the skillet. Keep stirring this mixture until it gets thickened and bubbly. Then add the chicken to the pan. When the potatoes are done, open them, give them a little squish, fluff the pulp a little. Then you just top the potato with about half of this creamy mixture. The recipe for the creamy chicken potatoes and my favorite bran muffins are on the website at WUSF.org/Florida Matters. If you still need an incentive to become more active and lower your calorie intake, consider this. Just eat 100 fewer calories a day. That's like skipping the mayonnaise on a sandwich. And then burn 100 calories a day, which is a half-hour stroll through the mall. And the average person could lose 10 pounds in a year, almost effortlessly. Now, one of the biggest challenges to a healthy diet is eating when you're on the go. Joining us now in the studio is registered dietitian Christine Miller, who's here to help us avoid turning a busy day into a diet disaster. Hi, Christine. Good to have you here.
Thank you.
Now, down at the end of the table, we have a fast food meal, very typical, burger, fries, and a very big soda, regular soda. How much of an impact can that have on your caloric intake in a day?
That's about 1,250 calories, which is the amount that a woman should limit herself to in the entire day.
For a whole day. And fat grams?
Fat grams is 50 grams of fat, which is the maximum for a lot of people for the entire day as well.
Now, if you have to eat fast food for lunch, a good idea or a good option is this Wendy's chili or their baked potato. They're very helpful, actually.
Yeah, this is a great choice. This is going to reduce the calories down to 450. It's going to reduce the fat down to 9 grams of fat. And in addition to that, we're going to be getting 12 grams of fiber, which is about half of the recommended fiber intake for the day, all in one meal.
Very good. You're also a big proponent of being sure to ask for that to-go container when the restaurant food hits the table. Why is that?
Well, we want to do that because our intention might be to take leftovers, but often when we get caught up in a good conversation, we may not do that. So get it to go first. Take some of that food before you eat any of it and put it in the box to go.
Good idea. Reference materials, you include a PDA with being able to look up what the calories are in restaurant food, for example. And this little book is actually a pretty good choice.
It's a wonderful choice. Either of these tools, if you're hooked up to the internet, you can type in the food and whatever that is in the calories. And a book like this is great to keep in the glove box. It's going to provide calorie, fat, and other information.
Very good. Now, at this end of the table, we have some snacks to suggest to take with you along the way in a cooler or some kind of a lunch container. These will not be so high impact, but they may give you a lot of fiber, vitamins, and not a lot of calories. Starting with this one in the back, some fresh fruit. Grapes are good. Why?
Well, they're high in antioxidants, and they're a wonderful source of a quick energy carbohydrate. And this is something that we want to do, is make sure that we're having snacks available so that we're not excessively hungry when the meal comes up. So fruits such as grapes, portable fruits such as apples and bananas are wonderful things to bring along.
I love these little baby carrots. These are already packaged out into 30-calorie portions, but you can get a snack bag like this and make your own portion.
Yes, absolutely.
But this is a good thing to have for a quick snack.
Very low in calories. It's a great choice. High in antioxidants as well.
And then over here, this one is a tuna. This is cute. It's packed in a little can. It has crackers and it has a little spreader. It's like lunch in a little package, ready to go for, I think it's 200 calories total, including the crackers.
Yes, absolutely. And if you want to skip out on those crackers and maybe go with bringing along a whole grain cracker, you could do that. And you could do maybe one of these 80-calorie wild-caught salmon cups.
That's another good idea. So portioning out your own 100-calorie packs or one serving, which is what we've done.
Yes.
You can get dried fruit. We talked about taking along a sandwich. A half of a peanut butter sandwich doesn't require refrigeration. There are little individual packets of cheeses. Nuts are another good option. Why that?
Nuts are a great option. They reduce the risk for heart disease, diabetes, and many other chronic disorders. They do have a lot of calories, so I like to suggest that either getting the single portion or just measuring out a quarter of a cup and putting it into a plastic container or a snack-sized baggie is the way to go there.
Best way to go. Great. Thank you so much, Christine.
Thank you.
Larry Elliston is here now to bring us our next Florida story, and I understand you found someone who's just going to put us all to shame.
He is a character. Irene, I've always had great respect for people who volunteer at free clinics. I don't think you can put enough value on their service to our communities. And that's what led me to the Clearwater Free Clinic. Not only is Bob Stubbins a role model for volunteerism, he is a picture of health.
7, 8, reverse, high kicks, all count, 1.
An early morning exercise class at a Florida mobile home park.
5, 6.
These retirees at Ranchero Village in Largo know physical fitness is the way to look, feel, and do your best. One resident, Bob Stubbins, came to that conclusion years ago. Trim and fit and full of energy, Dr. Bob Stubbins is a true believer that exercise really is a prescription for good health. So it's not uncommon for this retiree, 85 years young, to end one workout only to start another. Logging nearly 100 miles a week on a bicycle is pure bliss.
Well, I'm on the road again, doing what I like best. I belong to about 3 different bike clubs. And this is the life. If I don't get biking, I'm going to slump down, and I got to keep going, and I love it.
In his younger years, Stubbins was a prairie doctor out in the wide open spaces of Canada's Saskatchewan province. At the 8-bed hospital in the small village of Bingoff, Dr. Bob, as he was known, did it all, even dentistry. And of course, everybody knew where he lived.
Nobody had locked their doors there, and so patients, if they needed you in the middle of the night, would walk in and go into your bedroom and shake you. Doc, are you busy? We need you.
And even though this doc is retired now from private practice in Toronto, he's still busy seeing patients.
It's Nancy.
Dr. Stubbins is a volunteer physician at the Clearwater Free Clinic.
How would you like to sit up on the table? And I graduated 60 years ago, and I guess you get a little warped. You work, you see patients, you love it, and never want to stop. And coming into the free clinic is almost like practicing in Bengal.
Here, patients like Nancy Weichel come to know and depend on medical professionals like Bob Stubbins. It's almost like a family.
Yeah, it's just there.
But unlike Bingoff, where residents are covered by a national health care program, those who come to the Clearwater Free Clinic have no health insurance.
I can't really afford it because my husband passed away a couple of years ago, and I'm trying to make it on my own, and it's just I can't really afford it.
Weichel doesn't know what she would do without the clinic. The director of this clinic, which is supported solely by donations, doesn't know what she would do without volunteers like Dr. Stubbins.
Did they come in with the report?
Dr. Stubbins is a gem. He has been a staunch supporter of the free clinic. He's been more than willing to come 4 days a week when he was needed.
How are you today?
We look forward to having him join us in November when he comes back from Canada, and we're sad to see him go in April when he leaves. So he's an integral part of what we do here, and he's quite a character.
And can you pant like a dog?
Thank goodness this place is here, because I do work, but we do not have insurance coverage.
Have you been taking anything at home for the cough?
No, just trying to take extra vitamin C. So
Chicken soup
Chicken soup, yes.
Well, I'm going to start you on an antibiotic.
If only the current economic downturn and rising unemployment had such an easy cure. Since October 2008, demand for services at the Clearwater Free Clinic has increased by nearly 200 new patients a month. For Dr. Stubbins, this packed waiting room is the reason to serve.
Well, I love to see patients. Every patient is so different, and a lot of them you can help. Some of them you can't, but you try your best. That's not sore there?
No.
Just chew for me. The antibiotic that I give you, because your gums are inflamed a little, may help the biggest problem that you told me afterwards.
Okay.
And that's your...
My knees have been something wrong with my knee. Thank you, sir.
Right, bye-bye.
After a day of volunteering at the Clearwater Free Clinic, what does 85-year-old Dr. Bob Stubbins want to do? Well, what do you think? Not to make you feel too bad, but 20 years ago, Dr. Stubbins started rollerblading.
I'm addicted to exercise. There's hardly a disease that we know of that isn't benefited by exercise. And I try to push exercise and good eating. Actually, I was so busy up until I was about 50 that I didn't have time to exercise. And I feel a lot better, even at my age, than I did when I was 25. I feel great.
Is there anything he doesn't do?
Dr. Bob does it all.
He's impressive. Thanks a lot, Larry. We'll have information on our website if you're interested in helping out at one of the free clinics, like the Clearwater Free Clinic featured in our Florida story. Thanks for joining us this week. The discussion continues on our website, where you can post comments, ask questions, or contribute story ideas for upcoming episodes. We'll be sure to get back to you. That's it for this week. I'm Irene Mayer. Join us again next week for Florida Matters.
Major funding for Florida Matters comes from the Mosaic Company, a leading producer of fertilizer made from phosphate, a natural resource found in Florida. America's farmers depend on Florida phosphate for their crop nutrition needs. Mosaic, helping America grow.